Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian with PerfectStockAlert.com, a 100% free service for smart investors and traders. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Today is Wednesday. It's March 21st, 2012. We're going to start off looking at the UUP, the Bullish Dollar Index Fund. This is something we talked about a couple days back. I think it was on Friday. Yeah, it was on Friday. We mentioned this pullback. We expected that pullback, and the thing that we were looking at was that bottom, wherever she bottoms at. We wanted to see, did she bottom here, or did she pull back here, and most importantly, was that bottom going to form, giving us a series of higher lows than we had seen before? Because if this is the case, and we already have a series of higher highs, then we could be seeing a reversal from basically in time with the markets becoming overbought, so people are going to start selling stock, and that of course is the effects of buying the US dollar, and that would give a floor to the US dollar, and you start to see a move higher in the dollar. So this is something we're starting to see develop right now. We talked about, and now we're seeing it. Here you can see today's price activity. We get ourselves a nice little doji. Dojis are found at tops and bottoms. We've talked about that before, and so to see it here is that much more confirmation that in fact we are starting to bottom here. You also notice, let me clean that up again. All right, get the tools out again. This low point here of 22.01, new low point of 22.04. It's actually showing a lot more strength here. I would have been a little bit happier had I seen a nice candlestick right here that would have been a hammer candlestick formation, something like this. That would have made me a lot happier here. I don't see that, and that kind of bothers me. So I've got an if and then alert issued here on the UUP. What I'm saying is that if tomorrow's trading activity actually breaks above today's high was 22.17. If you were to hit 22.18 or 22.18, I would be a buyer at that point with the stop set off of this candlestick's low. That's the strategy I'd put in play there. If that does not happen and we just continue to move lower, then this alert would not matter to you. I would not be a buyer of that case. I only buy if she breaks up to a new high. If she doesn't do that from candlestick to candlestick, then I would just wait and see if maybe this is just a false base that we then break down a little bit lower, form a new base here, and then maybe get another shot. However, there's something else to think about here. Even if you get a breakout to the upside here, and you can buy that, and then as she takes off, we'll start advancing the stop. Remember, these charts are kept on our free website at PerfectStockAlert.com right there. We update them every single night, so there's whenever we advance our stops and so forth and so on, you'll know about that. And I may actually cover another video on it as well. But the thing I want to bring to your attention here is that this move that we're seeing, the sell-off in the market, I don't believe we've seen the actual peak of the market. I think we're seeing some pullback, and then she's going to test that high again. So what will likely happen is you'll get a move higher in the dollar, and then she'll find resistance at about the same level she's found it before. That would make sense to me as the be about the right amount of time for the equities to pull back and then to attempt another move higher, and so forth and so on. We'll get to that after it's all time to show you all that. But the main thing I wanted to bring your attention to is this dollar play. It is a play betting against the markets, so it's something that you need to be thinking about. The markets, are the markets actually going to allow you the ability to do it? But if they keep going much higher, then this trade would actually start to fall apart. So you want to keep that stop advancing, and once she'd moved maybe 1-2 days higher, I'd start to advance that stop period. Okay. One more item I want to bring to your attention, and we discussed this before it happened as well. Looking at the oil chart here, XOI, you can see that we had this first shoulder, the head formation, and then the second shoulder, and we've now run over and actually closed below this neckline. Now that is the confirmation that this is in fact the head and shoulders pattern once you close below that. So what we can do is take the high point here down to the neckline and measure this distance out, and then we take it and we add or subtract from this point here, the breakout, and we simply say this is about how low we expect price to go before we get another bottom. So basically finding support here before, let's do that again before we even consider going long on oil again. So that's just something I want to bring to your attention as well. It did in fact form as we expected it to. There's a trade there. Once she gets to the bottom, we may be able to trade back to the upside. We'll have to wait and see. The Dow Jones Industrial Average has been pulling back for the past, I'd say, 4 days, but you can see that this actual pullback here is very controlled. It's very properly done. So I expect that we're going to get support at roughly the middle Bollinger Band line right here, which will be in line with finding previous resistance, going to be acting as support as well. So that's where I expect to find that support. That's why I'm not thinking that we've seen the actual peak of this market yet. I think you're going to sell off a little bit more, and then you're going to reverse back to the upside and test this previous high. If I get a nice candlestick formation down here, I may even take it as a buy opportunity, a short-term buy opportunity with a tight stop. I wouldn't do that with the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is the one that's getting the most overbought. It's pushing higher, 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 and ignoring pullbacks and so forth and so on. So I'm not going to do that there. But the Dow Jones is something I would consider. We'll have to wait and keep an eye on it and see what happens. I'm not going to jump on it until I see the right signals, and then of course I would use a tight stop. But this is one that I do see as something that we may trade either later this week or next week, early next week. Okay, so keep that on your radar as well. Last chart I want to bring to your attention would be the BSE, the India Bombay Stock Exchange. This one we've been talking about for a while. Had a nice pullback. We're looking for a buy opportunity on that. We got some doji candlestick formations here, telling us we're getting confirmation of a bottom. Higher candlestick here than the previous, with higher highs and higher lows. That was a buy signal. We traded up to the upside. And we said we had problems up here. You can see that the sell pressure that we were having here is still there, a little bit less, but it's still there. And she pulls back down, stopping us out. Now we get another doji candlestick formation, and now today's candlestick actually doesn't show up on my chart. My charts update at the end of the day, and they don't update until about an hour from now. So I won't actually be able to mark this chart whether I'm going to issue an alert on it or not until after I've uploaded this video. So you have to check out the free website at perfectstockalert.com if you want to see this chart, whether or not I actually issue an alert on it at that time or not. Okay, just a couple of things I want to bring to your attention. There's some long opportunities out there, and keep a tight stop on them, but I do see some potential trades out there. One last item I want to talk about. Yesterday I asked you guys not to give a video a thumbs up unless you were going to share our video online. Wow, you guys are a bunch of overachievers. We actually had the most views we've had on a video since we came back was on yesterday's video. The most likes we've had on the video was on yesterday's video. So you guys like totally blew us away right there. That was amazing. Thank you guys for that support. We really appreciate that. It helps us grow and helps us better serve you. So just thank you very much for that. I mean, you can't do that without having proactive users and members, and we definitely have that. So thank you guys very much for your support. It means a lot to us. Please take a moment to review our disclaimer. The information provided herein is our opinion only. Under no circumstances do any statements here represent a recommendation to buy or sell securities or make any kind of an investment. You are responsible for your own due diligence. To summarize, we do not provide investment advice, nor do we make any claims or promises that any information here will lead to a profit, loss, or any other result. These videos are for educational purposes only.